When it comes to training your min pin, there's a few mistakes that most of us all make. I know I've made them, and I know a lot of people I've talked to have made them too. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 mistakes that I bet you're making right now, and maybe you didn't even realize. Hey guys, welcome back to Min Pin Nation. My name's Nate. If this is your first time with us, thanks for joining us. On this channel, we like to cover everything about the min pin breed, from their health to their care to training to mistakes that may be made, like in today's video. So if you like min pins, then make sure you like this video because that helps get this video out to all the other people that do have min pins or are interested in the min pin breed. So make sure you stay to the end of the video because we have a bonus tip for you that's going to kind of wrap all these together and make a perfect present for you and your min pin puppy. The first mistake that we're going to be talking about is rewarding unwanted behavior. Now the key thing with this is we all think that we know what behavior we don't want to happen. And so this could be something as simple as we don't want them to sleep in the bed with us, or we don't want them to jump up on us, or maybe we don't want them obviously to bite us, especially when they're puppies. But what we don't realize is a lot of times you're actually rewarding that behavior when you don't even realize it. One of the biggest ones that most of us run into is the rewarding the jumping up when you come home from work or you come inside the house, or when someone, a neighbor comes over and visits, or somebody comes inside the house. Because every time they come in, what happens, right? Your min pin comes running up and runs up to you and greets you and, jumps up on your legs and all those things. And what do? You reach down and you pet him and you reward him and, oh, I miss you, buddy, I miss you, all those things. So what you gotta learn is you have to learn and recognize up front that you don't want this behavior to happen. So, a couple things you can do, if we'll just concentrate on the coming inside the door from the beginning, is practice. Practice coming inside the door, not just after you've been gone for however many hours out of the day and they come running up to you, but practice over and over again. And make sure that you practice by coming in, and when you step through the door, if they come up to greet you, the best thing to do is not even to, recognize that they're there. So if they come up and they jump to you, the easiest thing to do is usually to turn your body and kind of just walk past them and just not really acknowledge that they're doing that. Another thing you can do is if you have some type of gate that they can be behind, then make sure they're behind that gate, and that way when you come in, they're not there right in your face jumping on you, and you don't have to worry about even potentially falling into that pitfall of reaching down and talking to them or anything like that. Another thing is if you're coming in and you're trying to maybe train them to not jump all the time, then obviously you can come in. I'd still recommend you slightly ignore them, but then when it comes down to it, they come in and they know when you give them command. That's when you can give them the command of sit and stay, and once you've taught them that, when you come in, then they know that they're going to get rewarded once they do those things. But the key point is don't ever reward them for the things that you don't want. Okay, another big mistake that I know I've made is when it comes to training, and it's as far as the actual training time that I'm going to do. And so what I mean by that is a lot of times we go in and we want to say, hey, we're going to do some obedience training, and we want to train them to sit or stay, or even just potty training as well. It takes many multiple training sessions throughout the day and consistently throughout every single day. So a lot of us run into the problem of, oh, we want to really do training and we're really excited right now at 3 p.m. and we're going to train from 3 to 4 p.m. because we don't have any other time to do it, it feels like, and we try to put like a whole hour into this with our puppy. And the problem is the puppy just can't handle that amount of training time, especially when they're first learning. And even as, even most older dogs, just that's a long time to focus, and what it will end up turning into is negative training. So really what you want to do is just find those 5 to 10 minute sessions. We've talked before in this channel about, using their meal times, right? If you're feeding them 2-3 times a day, whenever you're feeding them, make them work for every little kibble that you're going to feed them, or whatever type of food you're feeding them, make them work for each portion of it. And that comes to whether you're just doing training, like I said, stay training. Maybe you're trying to stop them from eating their meal when you first bring it in. So you do the classic, put the bowl down, but you stop them and give them stay command until you tell them it's okay. So make sure you're doing that kind of every single meal. That way you don't lose that if you just forget and only do it once a day or once a week. It's just not going to stick. And that's the same with all the other obedience training. When it comes to sit and stay, dogs can learn that really quickly, really, if you actually dedicate to it, but you have to consistently use it, especially in those first, weeks and months as you're teaching them these things. 5 to 10 minute, 15-minute sessions at the max, multiple times a day. You will see such better results than if you do, an hour-long session, once a day, or even a bunch of sessions one day and then you skip 2-3 days, and it's just, a puppy especially needs repetition, and they need to hear those commands, and they need to perform those actions over and over again. So ensure that you have it set up where you are able to accomplish that if you want to be able to train your dog to do the things and live the best life with you. Hey guys, before we go on to our third mistake that we're going to talk about here, make sure you hit the like button down below and you share this video with as many people as you know, because the more likes and more subscribes that this channel gets, we're able to push this channel further out to all other min pin owners that don't even know about it, and maybe other people that don't even maybe know much about this breed. We can put this video in front of them and other videos on the channel and help get this breed even more known than it is now. And that's really the ultimate goal of this channel, is kind of to bring awareness to this breed. So once again, hit the like button, and let's move on to the last mistake here. Okay, so the third mistake that we're going to be talking about here is when you are training your dog, another huge thing that happens is we don't praise at the right time. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to your dog learning, they learn in about 1 second time, and then that's about the amount of time that you have to reward them. And so you need to really, mark, is what a lot of people call it. You need to mark the point that they did what you wanted to happen. Whether that's, when they go to sit and their butt hits the floor, boom, you got to mark that is exactly what you wanted, and let them know with obviously the proper praise. A lot of times, a lot of people will use maybe some type of marking word, as far as, yes, or good, or, really, could be really any word that you want. Something that marks it. Or some people use some type of noise. Some people use, you've seen the clickers before. They'll kind of click right when the action happens. Something that marks, that can be, usually audible or seen by the dog to understand that they did a good thing. What people kind of forget is they just, they see him hit the floor, and then they don't jump on it quickly, or maybe they're trying to dig a treat out of their pocket or something, and then they're going to hand it to the dog, and it's just not quick enough. Okay guys, so we did want to throw in a bonus tip here. So if you're still with the video here, I wanted to just kind of give you something that I thought was very helpful for me training my dogs, and I've talked to other people, and it's really helped them. And that something is, you need to schedule your training. You need to schedule everything you're going to do with your dog. I think what we run into is we want to take them on a walk. We want to do training with them. We want to feed them at this time. We want to do that. But if we don't put it in some type of, some type of app on your phone, to-do list, or some type of, in your Google Calendar, or you write it on a notepad that you carry around with you, something that kind of clicks in us, actual times, not just this is what I want to do, but actual times, then it's not going to happen. So when you have your new puppy, kind of with potty training, and there's a good potty train video that you can watch that I did about mistakes, and that's one of the mistakes is, not having a schedule, and we'll link it up here. But have that schedule and stick to it. If you stick to a schedule for the first 6 to 8 weeks of the puppy coming home to you with just basic obedience training and basic kind of puppy handling and different things you want to accomplish, walking with them, if you do that consistently, then oh my gosh, you have no idea how well behaved, and how even the min pins, and they are a very feisty and a very independent breed, but even they can learn the proper way to do things and the proper way to behave. I've talked to many owners at this point that tell me that that's the way that works. So get an app on your phone, get something, and schedule it. Comment down below if you use a schedule for your dog and what type of schedule you follow and what your results have been. And I want everyone here, if you don't, take the next week, try to follow a schedule, and then hey, come back to this video, or just message me on something else on the video, or send me an email, something, let me know that, hey, I did this for 7 days and this worked, or maybe it didn't work. Let me know that as well. If you are getting a puppy soon, we did do a video all about that first night to survive, which is sometimes very scary, and we'll link that up over right here. So go check that out next, and we'll see you over in that video.